Hello everyone and welcome to Simply Made Homestead. Now this morning we are going to build some compost bins. We started making a pile when we first moved in about 6 months ago, 7 months ago, and this has been our pile. Now as you can see, every time we dump something new out here, the dogs are in the middle of it, and every time the chickens are let out, they're in the middle of it, scratching it all around, which I like the chickens. I like the chickens scratching it all around because it helps mix it all up, but they spread it out all over the place. And then you got to come back and you got to put it all up in there and you got to flip it and all. Anyway, we don't want to have to do all that. So we're going to build some compost bins to make it a more confined area for our compost and a way to keep all the animals and everything out of it. Now the chickens will be able to fly over the top into it when they are let out to roam the yard, which is great. That's fine, but they won't be able to kick it out all over the place. So we're really looking forward to this. I can't wait, and we're going to take you along with us. We are planning to put our compost bin here under the shade. It's the best place in our yard for it because the process that we're going to use with our compost, we don't need water because we don't have water back here. So we're not going to be wetting it down or turning it or anything like that. We're going to be throwing everything on top, and then once the pile gets good and full, we're going to put a bunch of worms on there and then let them work their way all through there, which will take some time, like several months, to be able to work all the way through the process. But then it will be absolutely amazing to put onto our garden. So that is how we're going, and we're going to try it out. So here in the shade, it'll be, we are in a very humid climate, so we have a lot of moisture that's just in the air, and this is what we're trying. So now as far as the compost pile goes, or the compost bin goes, you can do whatever process that you feel is right for you and that you want to try. So, but this is the route we're going. We're going to give it a try, and we're going to see what works for us. But as far as the bin itself, it'll work for whatever process you want to do. What do you call them? Pallets. These are just pallets that my husband was fortunate enough to be able to bring home. Now, with the pallets, there are holes in the middle, and so compost will, all your stuff that you pour in there will kind of fall through the cracks. Some people will come in and then add some boards just to kind of fill them in a little bit, which personally I don't think is a really bad idea, but you do need cracks though still. You still need cracks because you need that airflow going through your compost bin. So we may look into that and see if we have some skinny boards we can put through there too. Now we are turning because there's two sides to these pallets. The outside, there's like very little boards. So we are turning the ones with more boards towards the inside to help hold the compost bin.
And I'm using these 3x9 3-inch screws. It's just what I had laying around. Probably don't need 3-inch screws, but it's what we had. You probably get away with a 2-inch screw, but this is what we had, so this is what we're using.
So you just want to be sure and use something that's going to go all the way through both boards and be able to secure it really well.
Yeah, Maisie. Look out. I don't need your
Move,
help
Maisie.
now. So I'm just screwing these two back ones together right now. And I put one on the top and one on the bottom.
Just to make it nice and secure and stable.
Now fortunately we're down here in Florida. Our ground here is fairly level already. If you live on a hilly area, you'll have to go ahead and clear the area, level it, so that you can get everything flat.
And our ground has so much sand in it, even if it isn't level. We can pretty much slide some sand to the side pretty easy and make it where it is. Now, if you can't find pallets, you can build this yourself out of wood. Of course, that's going to be a lot more expensive.
We got where you're at.
Let me grab the hoe. See, that easy. We can level our ground. Which is good in that aspect, but it needs a lot of good compost to grow stuff. Pour it across there just to brace it.
All right.
All right, we gotta go get some more pallets. All right, guys. Well, we're over there looking at our other pallets, and all of our other pallets are different sizes than what we have here. But we have two we used over for a little A-frame for the pigs to get under that they've outgrown. May be the right size, so we're going to check that out. So we'll just end up putting one here and one there, hopefully, if it works out. But this is what I was talking about, like filling in, because see these cracks? These are so big. These are huge cracks right here. And just to be able to cover up, not have as much space in there, you want some cracks. You want cracks for the airflow. But that big old crack right there, there's a lot of compost that's going to fall through there. So anyway, we have a bunch of these that we've used for different things. I've used these in the garden and for all kinds of things, building quail cages. So that's what I'm going to do, y'all. I'm going to come in here and I'm going to fill in that crack so that way I'll hold a lot more compost in and it's not falling out all behind our compost bin here or all out the sides on the ends. We were going to bring that one over here and just put the 2 bins, but I really want 3, so we're going to see if we can't get 2 more pallets that will that are the same size as these, and that way we can just add them in here, and we'll have our three compartments. But one thing I can do, he's really good at the hammering and all that kind of stuff, so one thing I can do is cut some wood. So I'm going to do that. But first, I've got to find out how long I need it.
42 inches.
42 inches. Very good, honey. And I walked all the way in the house. Oh, did you measure it?
I just got through measuring.
Oh, here, I'm giving him too much credit. I thought he eyeballed it and knew it. Okay, I'm going to go cut. You can continue on. Space in between there. Doesn't have to be perfect. Which is hard for me to say.
I know. So for these, we're just using some 1.5 inch 4D nails. I didn't want to waste the screws on these things.
Nope, because we're just adding some feel. Unfortunately, these 1x2s are still fairly inexpensive to purchase. And they really come in handy. If y'all don't have any around your home or your homestead, go pick you up a couple bundles, because we're going to build a little rabbit cage. We're going to use these. Some on there. The 2x2s are great. Good little boards to have around the house. We were really fortunate that this fit right in there so nicely.
Uh-oh.
It still leaves some good airflow, and I think Honeydew just dumped the nails.
Okay, put some weight on the back side. Put some hip into it.
Put some hip into it? Okay. Now, another thing I would like to do, honey,
Yes, ma'am.
is since you've got some rebar over here on the ends, I would like to put some rebar up on the outside to keep holding them in.
That's a great idea.
Because it is going to put a brace up here on the top, guys, kind of, you know, help hold it together there. But we're going to add a little rebar on the outside to keep it, because all this pressure is going to be pushing out, and we don't want that to happen. We want to be able to make it nice and secure and be able to keep things upright and in the place we want it to be. All right, so we're going to get this finished up, guys, and then we'll bring you on to the next step. Guys, now, you know, trial and error. Andrew took this middle board down, the one that separated the two bins, because it just made it where we could get to this a whole lot easier. So if you have big old wide boards, you might want to be a lot easier to go ahead and add some little boards in there before you get this far along as we did. See, that looks so much better. Those big old gaps, stuff would be falling through there like crazy. Yep. Now, isn't that pretty?
It is beautiful.
Now we just need 3 more pallets. Oh, we got one. We gotta finish it up. All right, y'all, we're gonna do this one the smart way. You know, before you put it up.
Why don't you do one side, I'll do the other. Okay, so we're putting these are 2x2s, and we're just centering these on the end of the board. I'm still using the 3-inch screws to place them in to help adhere them, hold them on. 3 should be sufficient. You can put as many as you want, but I'm putting 3 in. Don't put it too close to the end, just to keep it from splitting.
And in just a minute, he's going to show you why we're putting these 2x2s on the end.
Another screw there, please. So our board, you can see our board's warped a little bit, but it's okay. We're going to cover that up. You won't see it at all.
And it doesn't matter. It's a compost bin.
All right, so now we're covering it up with this 1x4. So,
and once again, we're just centering the 1x4 over this 2x2.
Yep. And the purpose is we're going to take more 1x4s and we're going to create slats. They'll slide up and down this, and they'll have this line right here. So on this 1x4, I'm not wasting my 3-inch screws. I had some scrap, some extra miscellaneous ones. These are right around a 2-inch screw.
So now we have cut 1x4s to fit in between there, so that way we can close off the front and keep the animals out. I think that 2x2 is going to be
too wide.
Yep. Can y'all tell we've been designing this as we go? So we're probably going to have, would a 1x work better? I mean, this will be pretty tight.
It'll be really tight.
All right, y'all, now you can tell we are figuring this out as we build this thing with you. And that 2x2 is a little bit too wide. I guess if you could take like 1/4 or 3/8 of an inch off, it would be a whole lot better. Probably 3/8, ½ inch.
Yeah,
probably a ½ inch.
½ inch off.
So if you had the tool to be able to do that,
run down a table saw would be great.
Yeah, we just don't have a table saw. But you can see, even though it's kind of flouncy, bouncy in there, it's not coming out. And it's still, they're not falling. There's not enough room for them to fall behind each other or anything. So it still works. And we're going to go with it. So, because all we want is to keep the animals out. And I do believe that that's going to do the job.
Yep.
Now, if we come up with any new and improved ideas, we'll be sure and let you know.
And we have 1x4s. If you wanted to use 1x6s, 1x8s,
yeah,
would probably be better.
Yeah.
It just gives you less slats to
take
fiddle
in
with.
and out. Yeah. So, all right. Well, you want to get this thing braced, get us some rebar on each side?
Yep.
Good. So Andrew's going to get some rebar, and we're going to frame it up on the outside on each side here, just to make it really nice and secure, and not being able to move around. Or we start packing a bunch of compostable materials in there.
All right, so that'll keep it from flowing out. I'm gonna put one on this side over here because we're gonna fill this bin up first, and I don't want the compost to be pushing this out. So we have the stake in here. It's not going anyplace. She's ready to fill it up with compost.
And we've got some ready to go in there.
We've got some compost ready to go in there. Yes, we do. Okay.
Okay, it measures. We don't have our measure tape again, y'all. This is our garden. So it's this long. Here, elbow to pinky.
All right. You
That's
hold
how-
that when I'm cutting.
No, we're gonna measure with this. All right, guys, we've just got some 2x2s here that we have, very roughly measured, and we're just going to. He's screwing to each of the pallets just to give it a little more support, and because you can see there's still a little wiggle room even with the rebar on the outside. We just want it to be nice and secure, so we don't have our compost bins falling outward that way. Okay.
All right, wiggle it now.
It's still got, see, it's a whittle, it's a wiggle, a wiggle.
A little wiggle?
It's a little wiggle, but it's really good, guys. I think we're in good shape. So I'm happy with that. I'm very pleased with this. Looks good. All right.
Well, all the pressure's coming in. So when you put compost in here, it'll counter it.
Okay.
We're right where we need to be.
Okay. I don't know what he's talking about, but I'm gonna agree with him. All right. So we have a little bit of compost in the garden in that wheelbarrow that's got a lot of water in it.
Yep.
So can we empty that so I can
use a wheelbarrow.
use the wheelbarrow to go finish cleaning out the goat pens?
Get some more compost.
Yes. And start filling this sucker up. If you'll go do that, I'll remove the boards.
Okay.
Okay.
Sounds like a fair deal.
Alrighty. Now, like he said, removing these boards, there's several of them. It's not a perfect situation, but it's going to keep the animals out. And once we pile it in, we're not going to be turning the compost bin. So it's not like we're going to be pulling the boards in and out all the time. Is it going to fit?
Oh, just right.
Oh, look at there! Our first addition to the compost pile. Ooh, look at all that lovely
Muck.
goat poop goodness. Awesome! Alrighty. Time to add the boards back in. All right, guys, that's it. Now, if you have any questions or comments, please be sure and leave them in the comment section below. We'd love to hear from you. And don't forget to subscribe and give us a big old, what?
Thumbs
Come on,
up.
dude. That was
I'm
your
sorry,
cue.
I'm distracted
Give us-
here, brother.
Give us a big old thumbs up. We really would appreciate it, y'all.
Ooh.
And if you've enjoyed this video, check this one out. You just might like it too. So until next time, take care and God bless.